I walked in the Alps for 4 days and slept in the sky for 3 nights. I only traveled 42 kilometers, about the length of a marathon, but I had not appreciated how vertical the Alps are. I climbed nearly 5 kilometers in that time, or about 3 miles. This is Kibblesee, my first alpine lake, green with glacial milk. Up that cliff face, nearly a kilometer above the lake, is Glimmerhut, tonight's destination. Glimmersee is a popular day hike. You can take an incline railroad to the lake, walk around the shores, and then go down the trail that I came up, gravity assisted. Glimmerhut, like all Swiss huts, is a bit of warmth and comfort, a nest tucked in a niche between cold cliffs and windy peaks. That night there were nearly 40 of us there. Most people are rock climbers. As a hiker, I was a bit of an oddity. Glimmerhut to Galihut is only 20 kilometers, but there's some unknowns on today's trail. So I was up at daybreak, ready to get going. A few steps down the trail, and already the hut is well overhead. It is hard to believe that the mountains and the trails really are this steep. And yes, I really am looking down between my toes to see that lake. After a quick descent past the Glimmersee to the Ari Valley, most of the rest of the day would be a series of climbs. First, from the Ari up to the Ehrenbach, and then into the higher Kum or cirque of the Glubensee and the Gluben Glacier, and beyond that, up to the Gulig Juk. The valley of the Guben is stony and bare, recently scraped by that glacier. The weather was equally cold, rainy, and blustery, but it was starting to clear as I approached the pass. This is the final approach to the pass. It's about 200 meters, and there it is. A little bit of a scramble at the end. But almost there. There's almost no trail here, so I just follow gravity, a 1,000-meter drop to the Galizee, that lake below. Today is a leisurely day, so I had time to go back to Galizee for a while, before one last major climb up to Dosenhut. Hütte is a beautiful and remote hut, an oasis in this alpine wilderness. The early morning sun is warm and smiling on me as I walk back towards the lake. If these hills have a voice, it has the sound of water. There are hundreds of streams starting at the high glaciers and cascading down the valley walls. But now it is time to turn and head back towards Dosenhut, tonight's destination. It is a long drop down to the Urabach, but then even a longer climb up to Dosenhut, that eagle's nest in the sky. The Urabach is a pastoral country, with sheep and cows grazing in the fields. Their bells can be heard across the valley. It's also summer down here. The air is warm and thick, 1,000 meters below the stark world of Gale. The climb from Urabach to Dosenhut was a long, steady grind, gaining about 400 meters an hour for 3 hours. And in that time, I rose up through many different layers, different environments. First, pine woods, and then grasslands and upland meadows, then a lacework of streams and boulders, and on up to the high slopes of Dosen. Finally, there was a traverse across a cliff face, across a snow-filled cirque, and at last, Dosenhut. It was raining and the hut was cloud-bound when I arrived, but later on in the evening, the sun came out and we had a gorgeous sunset. Dosenhut describes itself as an eagle's nest. It's a title that's well deserved. I later read about the trail down from Dosenhut. A climber trying this trail should not be given to giddiness at great heights and extreme exposure. I picked my way down cautiously, but this morning the magnitude of those great heights was lost in the mist. Last night, when I was looking at a map, I realized that the waters of this stream will be cascading over Rickenbach Falls, where Holmes and Marty fought in about an hour. It added an element of drama to this descent. And very suddenly the world changes. In half an hour, I go from rocks and glaciers to the tree line. I go through the woods, through a picnic area, out by a cafe, a bus stop, and finally, trail's end.